Hey YouTube, so today we're going to finish part 2 of the brakes, hopefully. If everything goes well, we have to take off the wheels, pull off the calipers, rebuild the calipers, and then put everything back together, bleed the brakes, and we should be all done. Hopefully everything goes well, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I think what I want to do is start on the rear, as this car came from the factory with the rotors riveted to it. Now that I'm saying this out loud, I realized I don't need to remove the rotors to take off the calipers, but either way, I've decided I'm going to start on the back. So, probably won't be able to see this, but there is a bolt down there somewhere, and another bolt down there. I'm going to have to take the actual brake line off to get to it. So there's a lot of brake dust, by the way. And yeah, and then we'll start draining the brakes and then getting those bolts off. Well, I managed to make a mess, but I got it off. And something a little worrisome is the bolts were a little loose. So I'm wondering if somebody has taken this off before. I'm hoping that whoever did changed out the sleeves for stainless steel, because I haven't done that, and they reckon that most of them are already done, but I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead and tear it apart and see how it goes. So first things first, as you can see, it's a little gross and dirty and nasty, and the brake pads look great, if not slightly like one side's compressing harder than the other. So there's some juice. Anyway, we're gonna clean this up just a hair, and then we are going to start disassembling it. Well, this bolt is rounded off. This bolt is out. Looks like somebody put anti-seize on it, which is good. However, the problem is we need to get this bolt out. So I'm going to grab some. Well, that's one way of getting this apart. I would recommend, if you have the funds, to go ahead and just buy new calipers. Of course, it might not have been the best way to do it, but it worked. It is now separated. If I can't get this bolt out without screwing something up, I will have to buy new calipers anyway. So we'll see how this goes. So I don't know if you can see this, but as soon as I was done pulling that off, I guess I relieved the tension because it unscrewed right out of there. So that's good, I guess. Next thing I gotta do is I might wire wheel these and give them another coat of paint. They are looking a little worse for wear, because who doesn't like a good set of red calipers? Plus, at least plus 10 speed. If I can find somebody with a glass cabinet, then I might go ahead and do that. But I have a sneaky suspicion that this isn't going to be a 2-part series. This is going to be more of like a 3 or 4-part series. So, yeah. But we'll see how it goes, alright guys? As much as it pains me to say this, I don't think this is going to be a 2-part series. Just how dirty these are, and how much of a perfectionist I've come since I started working on cars. I'm actually going to go ahead and strip all the old paint off and then repaint them, and then yeah, just clean them up, because I mean, like, that looks so much better than it did before that it's almost I don't want to put it back together. I don't know if you can see that. If I compare that compared to that, I saw one guy do a video. He painted, or he left these in, painted everything, and then pulled them out and replaced them. And that might be the way to go. So it looks like all the brakes are going to have to come off now before because I'd like to paint them all at once, make it easier. And it should look really good when it's done, though. So I'm going to go pull the rest of the calipers off. And hopefully they all go almost as smoothly as those. And then I'm going to disassemble them. And then I'll catch up to you when I clean them up. And I'm about ready to paint. It's a new day. And last night I went to the hardware store, auto parts store, and I bought some brake spray paint, bought some other things. But basically, also after I left I took off the other caliper. It was harder to get off, but the whole thing just came apart. No need to cut anything or do anything weird. Whole thing came apart. So today I have to clean it, pull off the front, and then I'm gonna clean them both up and paint them. I'll record the front. I don't know if you guys care, but just because it's different. So I'm gonna record the driver's side, and then I'm gonna do the passenger side of my own. All right. So let's get the car up in the air and start. Man, I hope you saw some of that disassembly. I'm still getting used to where the camera's pointing. Anyway, got the brakes off. Rather easy to do. Weirdest thing was I used a 7/8 on one side and a 21 on the other side, and it seemed to work. It seemed to work, so we'll see. Anyway, gonna go ahead and do the passenger side and then clean them up, and we're gonna go ahead and paint them. And that should be it. I might go ahead and make a painting rack, just because it's good to have, and I think I have some extra material around from making that table. So. It's a new morning again, and what we're going to do is we're going to take apart the calipers, pull out the O-rings, put in the new O-rings, pull out the seals, put it in the new O-rings, reassemble everything. I have all new hardware from Ace, and looks like I got all the right sizes. We'll find out, and we should be off to a good start. Well, we got one in, and it went together pretty easily compared to what it could have. So we got one in, still fighting with a little bit of dirt every now and then, but I think I got most of it out. So brakes should work again, which they did before, but this should stop them from leaking. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. There is one caliper complete with brand new seals and brand new hardware. So, pretty fancy looking. I missed a little bit of paint, but you know what? Paints only look good, I think. I don't know. Well, they're iron, so I guess they could rust, but they look pretty good, I think. So there's one done. So that was the rebuild of the first one. I'm just going to go ahead and zip through it and really just try to get it all done. It should work. Yeah, I really have nothing much else to say except for I'm going to go ahead and just knock them out. So, some of you may be wondering, what am I doing? Why am I replacing them with O-rings? So this is the new O-ring that it comes with, and then this is the old seal that came off the car. It looks like these, I believe these have been replaced at some point, but basically what it is the O-ring is supposed to seal both ways, whereas over time, if you let your car sit for a long time, these can leak. And then also, if you push them in on your own, there'll always be fluid leaking out around the calipers. So instead of buying brand new calipers and spending a ton of money, I am more of a budget-minded person, so I'm rebuilding mine. And that's what I'm doing. Should have mentioned that in the beginning, I guess. But anyway, that's the difference. I don't know if you can see, but there is it's almost like just a one-way seal. And then this will be, obviously, an O-ring. So. So I just realized what I did. The calipers don't need the lock washers. It's the caliper to brackets that need the lock washer. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off and reassemble it without hopefully messing up the O-ring. So. Alright, so there's the front rebuilt, much the same way as the rears. In order to get them to sit, I actually used some 2.5-inch exhaust pipe. That seemed to work out pretty well. I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to work, but yeah, bought new hardware, just matched up the old bolts with some grade 8. Everything seems to have gone pretty well. I'm going to torque them down to whatever the torque spec is on them, and then we'll go from there. So there it is. It's everything's tight, everything's ready to go. I'm sure I did something wrong, so let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and keep working on the other ones. But once everything's together, we'll be able to hopefully bleed it and hopefully it works. And we'll be off. So I had forgotten that, but if you put the
brake pads in and then put the rotor or the whatever that thing is. I'm hung over today. I'm sorry. Whatever that is, it is a lot easier to get the brake pads in. So there you go, life hack. So that's the fronts done. I think they came out looking pretty good. I am going to start working on the rears now. So the all the brakes have been bled. They are pretty much ready to go. Car's down on the ground, and all we're doing now is we're gonna back it up and make sure that we don't have any exhaust leaks. Not exhaust leaks, sorry, brake leaks. Probably definitely exhaust leaks.
Brakes are a little squishier than I was hoping for, but they are working, which is a plus. Driving around now, getting a feel for them. There's definitely a lot more travel in the pedal. I might raise the vehicle up on Tuesday and re-bleed the brakes, just because it's a little more than I like. Like, it's pretty noticeable that it's a lot different. I don't like that. I'm going to get this done a lot sooner than that. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Would it work? It does lock the brakes up, but it's all the way at the bottom of the pedal. I like a lot firmer pedal. I like to be, I guess I'm a control freak. But so anyways, yeah, it does work, but we're going to try bleeding them again, see how it goes. We'll do that Tuesday or Thursday, but the car is drivable as it is right now. I can lock the brakes up, like I said, but was it a success? I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully they don't bleed down over time and let air into the system. So that's a plus. Other than that, that's right. Yeah, so far so good. My wife is home. That's good.